Success is my revenge, and it's still Lodingi was 13 when my uncle told me I'd never amount to anything. He didn't just say it. He threw it at me like a curse, with spit flying, his face red from alcohol and bitterness. I had just brought home a drawing I did for class, a self-portrait with gold stars around my head, my name written in fat, hopeful letters. He ripped it in two and laughed. You think you're special? You're nothing. Just like your mother. Those words carved something into me. Not scars, roots. Seeds of rage. I didn't know it then, but something took root in that moment, a fire. And it would burn for years. My mother didn't protect me. She stood in the doorway, silent. She had that empty stare she always wore, like the world had already crushed her and she was just waiting for it to do the same to me. She had been pretty once. There were photos. But by the time I turned 10, she stopped looking in mirrors. At school, teachers told me I had potential. At home, silence screamed louder than fists. At 15, I was working at a gas station and still hiding food under my mattress. I learned how to keep the bruises out of sight. I learned that people don't ask questions if you smile hard enough. Music became my oxygen. It started with humming in the shower, quiet enough that no one heard. Then melodies in my notebook, lyrics scrawled between math problems and coffee-stained textbooks. I used to sneak into the music room after school. It smelled of old varnish and ghosts. The piano was missing 2 keys, and it was always slightly out of tune, but it listened. It let me scream without sound. Cry without tears. One night, I recorded something. Just my voice. One take. I uploaded it anonymously to SoundCloud. It wasn't perfect. But it was real. 3 days later, I had 200 plays. Then 1000. Then a DM. You don't know me, but you have something special. I want to help. Marcus. Marcus was the first person who saw me without asking me to shrink. He didn't talk about money or fame. He talked about truth, about how broken people make the most honest artists, about how pain can be gold if you melt it right. He sent me a mic, told me to record more. We worked online for 6 months before I met him in person. When I did, I brought one backpack, no return ticket, and no plan, just hope, and that voice in my head whispering, if you fail, you die in the shadows like they said you would. The first time I stepped into a real studio, I cried. Not because it was fancy, it wasn't. But because it smelled like possibility. Like freedom. We worked on the EP in silence. No distractions. Just me, my grief, and my voice. The songs were about nights with no food, love that felt like war, the numbness of being forgotten. The day we dropped the first track, Ashes to Beauty, I turned off my phone. I didn't want to see numbers. I just wanted to sleep, the deep kind you don't get when you're constantly bracing for the next storm. But when I woke up, it was everywhere. People said I was raw. Different. Unfiltered. Like Billy, but with more scars. The messages poured in, your song saved me. I've never felt so seen. I listened and cried for an hour. Thank you for not being fake. And just like that, the industry noticed. I signed with a small label, indie, honest, no glittery promises. I kept writing. More truth. More ache. My second single, Quiet Screams, hit 4 million streams in 2 weeks. That's when my mother called. I'm proud of you, she said, like she didn't ignore the years I begged for warmth, like she didn't let him call me garbage. Like I forgot sleeping on floors and stealing shampoo. I didn't answer. I let it ring, because sometimes, silence is louder than rage. I toured backpack to hotel to stage to silence. The energy of the crowd was electric, but when the lights went out, I'd sit in the dark, knees to my chest, remembering that girl at 13 who thought she was invisible. And slowly, I started healing. Then came the breakdown. Not public. Not viral. Just me, backstage in Tokyo, staring into a mirror and realizing I didn't recognize my own eyes. Why does success feel like drowning? I called Marcus. Told him I wanted to quit. He listened, then he said, success isn't the revenge. The fact you're alive is. That hit different. So I changed. Not my music, just the motive. I stopped writing for the people who hurt me, I started writing for the ones still stuck in it. I created a foundation, echoes of the unseen, for kids like me. For kids who think nobody hears them, because I remember what it's like to whisper into the dark and get no answer. One day, I got a message from my uncle, "Hey, I know we didn't end well, but maybe we can reconnect? I've changed." He was in jail. Fraud charges, still blaming the world. I blocked the number, because forgiveness is not the same as forgetting. I can let go of the weight, without handing it back to the person who dropped it on me. At 21, I stood on the Grammy stage, holding a statue that felt both heavy and hollow. I dedicated it to every kid who was told they were too broken to matter. My voice shook, but I looked straight into the camera and said, "You were wrong about me, all of you, and I forgive you, not because you deserve it, but because I do." Success is my revenge, and it's still loading. They say fame is like fire. If you're not careful, it consumes you, but if you learn to hold it, it lights the way for others, and that's what I do now. I carry my fire like a torch, not to burn the past, but to guide those still crawling through the dark. People ask if I miss my old life. No, I survived it, but I never want to go back. They ask what I'd say to my mother now. Nothing. I've already said everything, in the songs, in the silence, in the way I chose to live. Every time I get on stage, I remind myself, this mic used to be a weapon in someone else's hand, now it's my sword, and I'm done bleeding. I'm here to fight, not with fists, not with anger, but with truth, because that little girl they tried to silence, she grew up and she's singing louder than ever. Success is my revenge. And it's still loading, but the world better be ready, because I am.